I wonder if this is working. Do 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 do. Oh, you can hear. Oh, you can hear the mouse. I haven't done this in a while. Not done this in a while. Oh, you can hear. Oh, you can hear the mouse. I haven't done this in a while. Not done. This in a while. Oh, you can hear. Oh, you can hear the mouse. I haven't done this in a while. Not done. Hold on, hold on. This in a while. Oh, you can hear. I wonder if I should turn on some music. Let's see. I wonder if I should turn on some music. Let's see. I wonder if I should turn on some music. Let's see. I wonder if I should turn on some music. Let's see. Making animation. Making animation. Do 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 do. With all my OCs. They're all goobers. Goobers. They're all goobers. All of them. I completely not prepared for any of this. Making animation. Making animation. Do 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 do. With all my OCs. They're all goobers. Goobers. They're all goobers. All of them. I am completely not prepared for any of this. With all my OCs. They're all goobers. Goobers. They're all goobers. All of them. I am completely not prepared for any of this. With all my OCs. They're all goobers. Goobers. They're all goobers. All of them. I am completely not prepared for any of this. With all my OCs. They're all goobers. They're all goobers. All of them. Does that sound like? Sound weird. Well, this is Hyun. He does not smile that much. You know, smile. And what do people do on streams? I just like yap about things that I've recently watched. It's usually what I do. That's like usually what I do. And let's see. I'm trying to currently make a video where I talk about having both autism and ADHD, but like I've reread the script like a bunch of times, and man, there's like no point in where like I say it all seamlessly, and it's kind of annoying. I guess I'm mostly doing streaming just so that I can actually get used to like yapping more. Yapping? Or just talking in general? Yeah, something like that. I usually draw. I don't think I actually draw in silence all that much. I usually like talk to myself a lot. It's usually either like I'm trying to remember what my OC's lures are, or any kind of new OCs I want. I actually don't make a lot of new OCs unless I typically just stick to the ones I have for like years now. I think I've had this guy for about 2 to 3 years. So quite a while. So much lore. There's so much lore about him. He's my favorite goober. Can you tell? I'm drawing him right now. And I'm drawing. And here he is in the sub view, just so I can see what his colors are. And I typically like to work on 2 things at a time. I don't know, it just keeps me not bored, I guess, is the best way to, I guess, keep me motivated. Is the best way I can, like, describe it. Because I like to skip around projects a lot. Like, I have this small little animation, and I'm trying to, like, do lip syncing. This is like my 3rd attempt. No, actually, technically, this is my 2nd attempt at lip syncing the other animation where it was like more movement based than it was like talking at that point. And lip syncing is not hard, but it is time consuming because you gotta match it up to the audio. I feel like that's what feel like that's what animation is a lot of the time. It's not necessarily hard, it's time consuming in a sense. Like it takes time. Like any kind of animation takes time. Like I remember I was like learning about frame by frame, or you know, tween animations or like 3D animation, all that kind of stuff. 3D being, I know about that the least out of all these animations. Hell, I don't actually know 2D animation all that much to begin with. Animation is like eating a clock. Yeah, basically. It's like you could be like this entire animation is only like almost 17 seconds. I've been working on this since yesterday for about 5 hours. And we're not even halfway through. This is me like attempting to clean it up right now. Somewhat. Yeah, this character's name's Lilith. This character's named Lilith. This is Sarah. I'm trying to nail down Sarah's design. It's got a lot of hair. It's like braids, big braids right here. Then okay, then transitions. This is Rodney. Rodney is a wall. he looks like a wall. I was gonna say I was gonna pull up his character sheet, but I don't have a character sheet for him. I just wall. He's wall. Yeah, that's him. Wall. Oh yeah, that's Tina. Tina. Yeah, whatever, I'll just explain. Okay, lip syncing down. Right. So we got. See how. So let me see how far the sibling.
You can be a lover or a fighter, whatever you desire.
The lip syncing's off on her, but it's whatever. A little bit. I'll fix that. Just like, I know I messed up on this part. Oh, was that loud? Sorry. Still adjusting the sound. Somewhat. Yeah, let me just adjust that. Okay, that should be better now. Hopefully I didn't jump scare you by accident. If I did, sorry. When was the last time I streamed? I think it was like half a year ago. So yeah, it's been a bit. It's been a minute. I think I was in a completely different. It was in a completely different house, too. Gonna have to adjust this. Okay, so we got Lilith, Sarah, Rodney, Tina, Casey. That's Hyun. That's Alice. And Kevin, Nathan, and Steve. They all have lore. All of them have lore. I don't know how much lore to share. Or does it really matter? See. I am Steve. Steve. Probably not gonna get that far into like this animation. I am trying to make this somewhat polished for because this is for like a short that I was working on. Trying to make better shorts. Yeah, depends. I was trying to do the shorts I did earlier. I was trying to do what Narami does, which is basically like these almost slice of life and like slice of life slideshow-esque animations where it's like funny. That's basically what I was doing. And then I did the thing where it's just like, what if I could make this better without factoring in time it takes to make better stuff? So I might just go back to just making like little short cutouts with some, maybe a little bit more animation to it, but not too much. Because this is eating up my time. This is eating up my time. Like a lot. But it's worth it because I love my characters. Like my little characters. I guess I should like talk about some of them. We might as well. Let's see. If you're wondering who this is Lilith. She is. If I had a budget, then maybe better stuff. Right now, I'm working with nothing. I make nothing off of any of this. This is all just for the love of the game. And my OCs, because I love them. Okay, there we go. I did have a backlog, but then those backlogs ran out pretty dang fast. Fast. I underestimated how I absolutely underestimated how much I had in my backlogs. Yes. Uh, these guys are all a part of, like, the comic I kept talking about. It's called Breakpoint. Yeah, all of these characters are in that comic. All of them. And they're all pretty important in the story. Let's see, I have like 3 issues in the backlog right now, except with one currently making a Kickstarter trailer for the first issue and such. I'm waiting until the fall to like drop issue 1 because I kind of want, like, because I'm currently trying to make a bigger backlog for the comic. This is like a passion project through and through. Like, whether or not I have a budget or not, I'm still gonna make this thing because I like my story regardless. Like, I worked on this story like day and night almost, except for yesterday when I played Palworld all day because Palworld dropped their latest update quite a bit ago. I didn't hop on the update for Palworld like immediately, but then I got roped in. Well, not roped in. I asked if like a couple of friends. I saw a couple of friends were like playing it, and the next thing I knew, I played it all day yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, well, nothing got done." Oh well. Well, there's always tomorrow. I always just work on it tomorrow. That's what I'm basically doing. Oh yeah, I haven't played Palworld since like last year because there was a point in time I got really addicted to Palworld because it just scratched an itch in my brain that like a lot of games were just I wasn't that a lot of games weren't doing or something like that. It just scratched an itch in my brain, and the next thing I knew, I was like max leveling. I max leveled to like the early access of Palworld, and Palworld is so different from the early access. Like I was like palling around. I was exploring. Okay, so because I was invited to a new world, I basically had to start from scratch, which was both good, which was a good thing in the long term. I was kind of annoyed because, I was so used to endgame stuff and endgame areas, farming endgame areas, that was kind of a bit annoying to start over again. But then, there's like all these new, like, there's still like the pals, like there's like Chickpea and like, Panglet and, all the old ones. But then there's like a ton of new ones now. And like I've never seen before. And it's not just like a few pals, it's like a whole bunch of them in just all of the areas of the map. And then there's like new map locations that I didn't see in early access either, so that was added in. And like a lot of the mechanics were reworked. A lot of like some of the mechanics were reworked. Some of the old pals actually got reworked too. Like I remember Lifmunk did not used to look like that in early access. Okay, they really polished up the models. Models. I'm not falling off the world, so that was great. Quite frankly, I actually didn't have that much of a problem falling off the world in early access either. I think it only happened like maybe a couple of times within my 200 hours of gameplay. that I have. I was speed running that entire game. It just hooks you in. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just like, I don't know if it was like all of like the cool pals or things, or maybe it was just gun and just wondering, yes, what better gun can I get? Big. It's pretty big. It's basically the full release of the game. That's how big it is. Like, we've pretty much jumped from early access to now this is a fully fledged game, which means you can, if you want, which I want to do, is give my critiques about Palworld, because I love the game, but there are definitely areas that need improvement in certain aspect of the game. But right now, I'm going to absolutely glaze this game to no end because, again, played it all day yesterday. It's really something. I feel like Palworld has definitely found its style, I guess you could say, because you know how this game, how it got its name out there. It was like, before it was known as like, oh, Pokemon, but with guns and stuff like that. And people thought it was just going to be just a parody game, which, to be fair, it is still it is a parody in a sense of like Pokemon, but it definitely has its own style. Yeah. So, and like, I'd compare Palworld more to like survival crafting games than Pokemon than anything, because like, yeah, mechanical wise, it's not that similar to Pokemon. Pokemon American. Crazy thing is that you actually don't get your first gun until you're level 20, or unless you really want, or unless you like grab a the schematics in the game. I'm telling you, you just have to play the game to see what I mean, because like, it's like, I like Palworld because of the sense of like freedom of exploration there is, and all the unique ways you can actually get to places. Like, for example, there are obviously there are areas where it's just like you're supposed to go from here to here, where you gradually level up. You could just skip all of that if you just grab a flying pal and then just haul your ass to like the volcano area where what I did, and you're like, and all the pals are 10 levels higher than you, but you don't care, because if you are in that higher level, the faster my XP grows. So even though these pals are 10 levels higher than me, I'm still gonna fight them because I want to level faster. Let me level faster. Does not matter if I die. I guess in a sense it's actually similar to Pokemon, or like any game that involves flying. Flying is just broken in general, because if you can just like get a flying Pokemon and then just like mess around with with like some of the mechanics in the game, or some of the like physics logic, you can just pretty much get anywhere. Even if sequence break for the win. Yes. We gotta sequence break the game. We gotta speed run through this game. Yes. Nah. Okay, I don't care if the only thing I have is just this basic bat, and it only does like 5 damage to the pals. We're gonna do this. And that's basically what I did in my world. Now, to be completely fair, I did cheat somewhat, because let's just say, like, remember what I said? I went into a new world to join up with a friend, and I had to start from the beginning. I had to start to the beginning. My pals technically didn't. And here's what I mean. Okay, so when you enter into a new world, so let's just say that you are max level in your, primary world that you inhabit, and you go to your friend's world, and you gotta restart to level 1. You can bring your pals from your primary world to your friend's world using the global pal box. And you're probably thinking, well, that sounds completely unfair. That seems like just the way to break the game. Which, yeah, true. It kind of was. Which is why the pals synchronize with the pals that you got at high level synchronize with your level in the new game. So let's just say that you're like level 15. Well, the pal that was level 70 is now level 15 along with you. And so you're probably thinking, okay, so then how's this cheating? I guess it's because let's just say because there are things called legendary pals. And let me tell you, I grabbed all my legendary pals and put them in the global pal box. And sure, yeah, they are the same level as me. I'm currently level like 30 in my friend's world. But their attacks do massive goddamn damage. And so I'm just going around with these like higher level pals, and I'm just telling my level 15 to like nuke the level 30 pal into the stratosphere because their attacks are like slicing their health in half and stuff. They're sending out because their attacks are basically nukes. Like, okay, so there's a pal. The name is Jet Dragon. Jet Dragon is my favorite pal because they're like one of the coolest designs in my opinion. And they let you know it's one of the coolest designs. This motherfucker has statues of him everywhere. Well, okay, not everywhere, but like almost in every location I've seen him, there's a statue of this guy, and there's a reason for it, because Jet Dragon, you can ride, because like Jet Dragon, like a lot of mounts, you can ride Jet Dragon, and he is the fastest mount in the entire game. Problem is that I am level 30. You're supposed to get Jet Dragon at level 70, so I obviously can't ride or mount the guy, but I can still use his attacks. And just point to the direction. You see that? You see that sheep pal? That lamb ball right there? Nuke them. And it just like nukes them. It's a giant laser gun. Is a lot of it's a laser. Is that complete? Now, is that unfair? Maybe, but all of my friends in that current game are like level 60 to 70, and they were just like, yeah, that's fine. You can grind as fast as possible. And that's what I did. So they're just seeing me nuke the area to do things to like level XP. But the thing is that, like, fighting pals doesn't actually... Okay, so here's the thing. Yeah, fighting pals does get you XP, but it doesn't give you the most XP in a certain amount of time. That's actually traveling and finding like fast travel locations. That's the fastest way you can actually get XP. Is by exploring, which is, pretty fair, because like you want to incentivize new and older players to explore the map, obviously. See, okay, this is gonna be me talking about early access. There are these. Okay, so there's the fast travel pillars, like these small pillars that they're like the same size as your character, and then in the new game there are now watchtowers that, when you go to them, unlocks that particular area in the game. Which, thank God, because before in early access, you had to explore every inch of the map by yourself. Like, you had to go to those areas in order to, like, uncover the map, because, like, that's how you uncover the map, is by, like, going to those places. Which was tedious as all hell. Because you don't exactly have a very big area of things opening up to you. It's pretty small. I wasn't that annoyed by it because I honestly wasn't paying attention. Honestly didn't actually pay attention too much about like uncovering other areas, but I'm glad they added those watchtowers so that you can just unlock the area instead of just like trying to scour every single corner of the map just to unlock it. You know, it got pretty annoying. I think the other thing that they improved on was the wanted system. So there are a lot more NPCs around in the completed game than the early access. Like a lot more. Like there are quests now. There are like NPCs. There's like the world finally feels like there's actually other people and not just you and some stragglers around. There's actually like full on civilizations now that you can talk to and trade with and get quests and such like that. You know, like things like that. Now, you can. Okay, now, this is the part where this actually gets interesting. Because there are people that are in the world, you can, if you want, choose what you want to do with those NPCs. You can talk to them, or if you just for the shits and giggles, attack them. Here's the fun part. If you attack them, this is when they will attack you, obviously, because you're attacking them. But if you kill one of them, that triggers the star system. You know how the star system in like GTA is similar to that, and basically the police will come after you because you did an illegal, you killed somebody, don't kill, and they will hunt you down. Now, before, in early access, when I accidentally killed an NPC, the police were after me, and they would chase me to the ends of the earth, no matter what. It didn't matter if I was fast traveling, or if I got away from the area that, I did the deed. They would chase me to no end, and the only way for them to stop was to die, which was really annoying. Now, if you do that now in like the game now, they will stop chasing you after a certain distance because you got away from the area that you did the crime. Which is good, because it was really annoying when like I accidentally killed an NPC. I love when the level 50 police just come out of nowhere and then it kills you. I don't know the full extent of the wanted system because I haven't done anything to warrant the star system yet. But I don't know. I might test that out later. Okay, what else is there? I know for a fact that you can technically capture the NPCs. So, you know how, like, you can capture pals and stuff like that? With, your little pals. They'll call it pal spheres. So it's like, think of a Pokeball, but it's like, it's a pal sphere. You can capture pals with it. You could you don't technically, it doesn't only capture pals. You could, if you're like really wanted to, you could capture NPCs and stuff like that. You can capture humans. you can capture humans essentially, and you can make them fight and work in your base like what you do with pals. It's why. It's immoral, but you can do it. Granted, if humans are not good with fighting or base building, so it's really no point in capturing people unless you're just doing it just cause. Like, why? You just can, It's like you can capture pals, you can capture humans. Tomato, tomato. You can make them work on your base. You can make them work. You can make them fight for you with their guns and stuff. I don't know. I mean, pals can hold guns too for a fight. I know that there's this one electric pal that can like carry a minigun and just go guns blazing like. There's some pals you can use as ammunition. Like, I think there's like a Pangolin bazooka where you just put the Pangolin in the bazooka and you can just fire it. And apparently, according to the lore, this is what they want because all that the Pangolin wants to do is to fly, and you're basically giving them their dream of flying. And stuff. It's a lot of fun. This game is a lot of fun. You can do a lot of crazy shit in this game. It's great. Great. There's a lot more lore integration in the game now, which is pretty neat. I kind of skip over the lore, I'm not gonna lie. Most of the time I do, sometimes I don't, because I just really want to see how absolutely batshit insane they can make the lore. And I'm not gonna lie, some of the lore in Pal World is completely insane. Insane. Let's see. I can't exactly remember the lore yet. So I'm just gonna skip over that for a little bit. But there's like, so I know your objective is to catch pals. That's pretty obvious. You catch pals, you get XP. But there's also quests and such like that. Like, getting a material and things like that. There are also bounties that they're basically like humans who have done bad things that you can like go out and capture, and they give you these things called bounty tokens. There's like 3 different currencies in this game. There's like, okay, wait, I think there's actually more. There's dog coins, then there's bounty tokens, then there's like the regular gold coins that you use to buy, like, it's like the most common currency to like buy materials and stuff. I don't remember what the bounty tokens get you or what the dog coins get you, but I know they get you something. I think the dog coins are involved in like arena battles. God, there's so much stuff in this game. Oh my gosh, I haven't even explained arena battles yet. Hi. Arena battles are basically just like raid boss level battles where you like go in to an arena with a high level pal, like a legendary high level pal, and you basically get all your friends and all of your pals, and you just go absolutely ham on this raid boss, and hopefully you don't die. You don't die like I did when I was level 15 and my friends dragged me into like a level 60 to 70 raid boss, and I got absolutely destroyed in the arena from just friendly fire. It wasn't even direct hit. It was just the friendly fire that the raid boss was, you know, just like spewing out, like area effect. I got caught in the area effect, one hit, died, I got resurrected, and then I was trying to help, quote unquote, with my level 15 pals. Were they legendary pals and they did big damage to like little guys? Yes. It didn't do shit to the raid boss. I didn't even know if I was doing damage or not. I just know I was just like pointing in the direction with all the flashing lights and the nuking explosions and all the laser beams being shot out from like my friends' high level pals. So many special effects happening at once. I couldn't see nothing. It was great. But when we did kill the boss, I got some high level items, so I was happy, even though I died like 3 times in that raid boss. What else is there? Oh, I should get to like the base. The base building might as well just be its own gameplay. Almost all of it in of itself, because I've played other survival crafting games. Base building is probably like my least favorite thing to do in the game. Okay, survival crafting, I like the crafting, finding new items, and using those new items to stab enemies with. Okay, that is my gameplay. That is what I've done in every single game I've ever played with. That's survival crafting. I've done it with Don't Starve. I've done it with like Terraria, Grounded, Raft, all that kind of stuff. I only did base building if it was necessary. Pal World is probably the first game where I was just like, man, I really want to base build. Because it was just fun. It was just fun to base build. And the reason for that is time. Base building it felt like just taking up time to me. I mean, it was a necessary thing that you needed to do, because obviously you need a good base. You gotta have a good base. Sometimes you have to have like materials in other areas in order to make other materials and stuff like that. And I just did that because I had to. In the bases that you have a certain number of pals that you are allowed in a base. And once you get higher levels, you get like more bases to put on the map. Like, for example, obviously, early level you get only one base, and in that one base you only get 5 pals to work on that base. And those pals, this is when attributes start to become a really important thing for your pals, because every pal that you have has different kinds of attributes. So I think in total there's like 10 attributes, and I'm doing this off the top of my head, so I might not be completely I might not be completely correct. I might not even name all of them, but like there's ranching, there is planting, watering, ice, fire, medicinal, carrying, and then packaging. And every single pal in that world has different levels of these attributes. Some of them specialize in one, and some are like a jack of all trades, which is like really good for certain jobs around the base, because certain items in the base require certain things from the pal. For example, you have like a survival crafting table. Obviously, you can just do that yourself. It doesn't require anything else. You yourself can do it. But if you have a pal that has like a level 5 or higher crafting, it reduces the time it takes for an item on that crafting table to be made. And the higher level an item is, the longer it takes for that item to be crafted. So obviously it's going to be really handy to have a pal that has like a level 5 or higher like crafting material. And then, you know, you have all and then like you have like items and stuff, like, you know, you need like stone, wood, ores, and then other materials that like you can get using the skill tree. And then you can have pals work on those mines in order to get those materials. And then you have a different pal that goes and collects those materials and then puts them in the boxes around the base. So there's like, you're building a system essentially. And I like and like they put and like there's animations for each individual thing carrying. And then when, like, the pals finish helping you build certain things, they have, like, they get all jolly and happy about it, because it's just like, oh, we achieved something, and it's just, like, it makes me feel warm inside. I like seeing my pals happy. I don't like seeing my pals sad. And I feel like that's, like, the most common sentiment for most people who has pals, is, like, yeah, that kind of stuff. What else is there? Once you get higher level, electricity starts becoming like your number one main resource to get. You need, like, once you get to higher level, you need electric Pokemon. It is not an option at that point. It is a necessity. Especially, like, did they say Pokemon? I meant pals. Anyways. Yeah, the electricity pals. And, like, there are a couple of ways to increase these attributes. There's there's like 2 ways. One is like the humane way, and the other one is the inhumane way, I guess you could say. What do I mean by that? Okay, there's these things called manuals, and manuals can basically give can increase the traits of the pal that you want to give the manual to. Like, that's one way to do it. The other way is to grab a bunch of the same pals. So, like, for example, you have a Pangolin, like a penguin, and you have a main Pangolin that you really like, and then you have a bunch of these other Pangolins that you don't really need, but you have them. You can, by using a device, liquidate all those Pangolins you don't need, and then put it in the main Pangolin to increase their level. you can do that. It's great. It's great. It's they get stronger that way. You just liquidate their fellow brothers and sisters and just put it into them. They'll get stronger. Their attacks will get stronger. Everything will get stronger. It's great. You basically do anything in this game. Whether it's like that's like the thing about this game. You have the choice. You have choices. You can either do things like, the humane way or the inhumane way. I mean, there's like literally a butchery assembly line in your skill tree that you can use tech points. You use tech points for the skill tree in order to get that. I never got it because I don't like doing that. But you could. It's a choice. It's a choice you can do. draw some pals. Yeah, it's great. This game's great. The devs smoking. They was smoking that good. They were smoking the good stuff because like there are some because like again there's like some things in this game that I didn't even think about. It's just in this game, and I was just like, huh, that's a thing. Might do it. that's a thing. Woo. The lore. Okay, all right. I just randomly remembered a piece of lore, in the game. Okay, so remember when I said that there's NPCs and there's like civilizations and stuff like that in the game? There are also factions in the game, and there are 5 factions I think in total. I can't particularly remember their names, but I can remember a few of them. The Free Pal Alliance. Then there's the basically the version of the syndicate, like Team Rocket type of shit, in the game. And then there's the Fey Breakers, and then there's the ninja samurai. Can't remember their names, but that's like that's their theme. And then there's the Sky Islanders. And I just remembered a lore about the Free Pal Alliance. Now, you're probably thinking, Free Pal Alliance? So like, what do you think about when you think about that name? It's just like, oh, they're there to free the pals, right? They're there. Their whole thing is keeping the pals free and all that kind of stuff, right? Sure. Yeah, sure. I mean, on the surface, yeah. But the best way I can describe the Free Pal Alliance is that they're basically the PETA of Pal World. They say that what they're doing is for the greater good until you realize that they are also, killing pals and stuff like that. And then using them for their own gains and stuff. So essentially they're massive hypocrites. And things like that. Yeah, that's like one of the lore that I remember. You can actually see, and it's not just in the lore, you actually see it in gameplay. You quite literally see the pals in cages, in their bases, and stuff like that. And it's just like, yeah, you guys are like massive hypocrites. Stuff. I don't know what the rest of the lore is for the rest of the game. I should probably read into it once I stop trying to like level grind out the game till I catch up with my friends. I'll probably like actually read the lore. Aesthetic wise, I think my favorite faction might have to be the ninjas and the samurai, because their location is filled with like very pretty. They have is like basically like ancient Japanese architecture, and there's like a ton of like cherry blossoms everywhere, and it's really pretty. Okay, it's really pretty. The area is really pretty. I like it. Skylanders. Yeah, it's an island. It's basically an island in the sky. I haven't gotten there yet because this is actually where a sequence of events actually start to matter, because the Sky Island is basically endgame. That's where the final tower is, and that's where like the lore actually starts to kick in. So you gotta do all the other towers first. And what I mean by towers, I mean boss battles. You gotta fight the bosses. You gotta fight the faction bosses to progress to, you know, reach the more endgame stuff. You can't... Like, I tried to, like, physic break into the island. Couldn't do it. Could not do it. They pretty much put the island just high enough so that flying pals can't reach it. How do I know that? Because I used my fastest mount to get to the island, and it didn't work. And I was like, ah, man. Which, okay, it's like, okay, fair. If you ever plan on playing this game, just know that you might get addicted to the game. In fact, I want to actually play Palworld right now. But I gotta... work. Gotta work. Kevin, why do you look different? There we go. Man, I was going on about Palworld for a good, like, 20 minutes there. I just really like the game. I got my favorite pals. All my favorite pals. I do have I have like a few favorite designs in Palworld that I would actually like to make fan art of. Especially Jet Dragon. I really like Jet Dragon. Oh, and King Paka. King Paka's like really cute. He's like this fat alpaca thing with like he like dressed up in royalty. He's like all red and all royalty. He's got like a crown and stuff. He looks really cute. He's really cute. Cute. When he's on your side. When he's not on your side, then he tries to like completely body slam you into the ground, but it's fine, you know, you just capture him. And he just like was really fluffy. He's such a fluffy boy! Such a fluffy boy! A fluffy boy! I need to name my fluffy boy. I forgot that you could actually name your captured pals, and I only figured that out because my friend decides to like name his main flying mount Big Back. He's the one that's like level 70, and sometimes he would like drop off items for me, and every time I'd see him in the distance in his flying mount, and I would just see the name hovering above the flying mount is just Big Bag, and I'm just like, oh my god. Can you rename your captured humans? I think you can. I think you can rename any pal or human that you've captured. So, you have at it. I'm not gonna think too deeply on that. I got. I might actually. Maybe later on I'll switch over to like doing some Palworld gaming, because like I gotta show off all the base build and stuff for later. Yeah. Again, I'm trying not to think too deeply into that. So many questionable things happening in this game. It's wild. Trying to fix this drawing. No, go back. There we go. Nikki. Kind of want to draw my characters in like Pal World outfits, because some of the outfits in Pal World are actually pretty nice. Some of the characters, some of the character designs for the human bosses are really good. Actually, they're pretty damn good. Like especially like their introductions when you're going to like the boss fights. Some of their introductions are like they're really cool. I have to. You just have to watch it to believe me, because I cannot describe it accurately enough to sell on how cool it looks. You just gotta like, you know, you can just see it on YouTube. You could also just see it on YouTube. I saw it when I was playing the game, and I was absolutely hyped every time. I was hyped every time I saw the new intro to the boss battles, because I was just like, it's so cool. It's so cool. And you can actually befriend some of the befriend some of the bosses. I know Zoe is like one of the first bosses you fight. Her name's Zoe. She has a Grisbolt that has a minigun. The Grisbolt has a minigun. And she's pretty chill. She's pretty cool. I mean, yeah, she fought you. She fights you and stuff, but she's like pretty cool as a character. You can do like side quests for her and such. It's neat. It's pretty neat. That's all I could say about Power World. Go buy it. Yeah, play it. It's really good. It's good. I think that's like the only game I've played so far in the past few months, actually, because like most of my time has just been like making either shorts or just drawing most of the time. Oh yeah, I finally decided to do like actually do Art Fight. I finally posted my characters on Art Fight and posted an attack already. It only took until like halfway through the month to finally get started on Art Fight. There was like a lot of other things going on the past few weeks. That's why I didn't really participate all that much. And like motivation was just not there until now. Somebody already attacked me in like Art Fight that I still need to defend against, essentially. Play yapping it more. Yapping? Or just talking? Actually, let me see. Is there like any new updates with... I usually draw... What? I don't think I actually draw in silence all that much. I usually like talk to myself a lot. It's usually either like I'm trying to remember to like actually do Art Fight. I finally posted my characters on Art Fight. Right. Yeah, nothing much changed. That's okay. That's cool. I'll probably work on an attack later on. For right now, shorts. Doing the shorts. Trying my best to give like each and every character not just a unique face structure, but I'm also trying to give them unique eyes as well. If you like really look, none of them have the same eye. Some of them have like pretty drastically different eye shapes. And I think my main inspiration behind that was Lavender Town. I really like how Lavender Town does their eyes. It's really cute. I seriously need to make a reference for all these characters. I think I only have a reference for, like, 2 characters. One is Kevin, and the other one is Steve. The rest don't really... Wait, no, technically Nathan also has a character design, but I wasn't the one that designed it. It's my friend who helped design Nathan. He's, like, one of my favorite characters for lore reasons that I can't get into! Because it's a spoiler. All these guys. All these guys. They come from a world that's literally run by using the rainbow colors. Those are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Yeah, all those colors. And each and every one of these guys can wield one color. Except for the ones that don't, but I'll get into that later. I'll get into that later. See, drop braid. To the braid. Braid! Okay, let's see here. Okay, speaking of this character, yeah, I did not create this character. This was, created by a friend of mine who's currently helping me with the comic of Breakpoint. He is the commander of the military, essentially. At least one of the commanders. He's the main one for the city that the story takes place in. And the city is called, the very original name is called Gray City. It's a Gray City because this is where, like, all people of all different colors come to live. In Kumbaya and all that kind of stuff. It's just and who are the people that can live here? There's, like, Celestial Borns, which are, like, people who have, like, the bloods of demons and angels in them. You know, like, half demons, half angels. They're called broad terms called Celestial Born. And then there's, like, 2 subcategories. One is an Angel Born, the other one's a Demon Born. It's very self-explanatory names. Names. And then there's, like, basically just humans, which is, you know, ordinary humans. They are just regular, squishy humans. And they are, for lore reasons, the humans have basically been reduced down to the minority of the population. Like, they are almost wiped out considerably. There's only about 10% of humanity left. Like purely just human left. The rest are either, you know, angel-born or demon-born. And the reason for that is war against heaven and hell, essentially. It's like the apocalypse. It's the apocalypse, and the human don't do very well when apocalypse just shows up and just wipes out a lot of things. There's a lot of battles, a lot of fighting. Humanity's just like, we're dead now. We're dead. We're all dead. And yeah. And the story takes place after that basically, like, quite a few years after that. Civilization is pretty much recovered for the most part. And you just got a bunch of superhuman-esque people trying to just live out their lives and such. and you got like you got so many different flavors of like Angelborn, Demonborn, because I got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then you gotta separate that out between the Demonborns and the Angelborns. Which is great. It's all great. Okay, so for example, this character right here, Lilith, she is a red Angelborn. She can control. Born. She's red. Red. She's got holy blood in her veins. And she and like celestial borns can have forms. These forms are called Breakpoint. Introduced title of the comic, Breakpoint. Yay! Anyways, Breakpoint is what it's called because it is the point in which the celestial blood in their veins and the human blood in their veins coincide with each other, and they enter into a new state that basically, you know, powers. You get like powers in a new form. Power. Ha! And these forms are not like just one to one. It's basically a spectrum from one point to another. So there's like fully human, and then there's the full breakpoint, which is like where, you know, there's celestial blood is fully empowered and stuff like that. And you can just like woo woo woo, then you just like go around that spectrum, like, woo, you want like some traits of some of your celestial traits, you just like slide it right here if you want to, like, and such like that. Like that. And like each color has like similar yet different skill sets that they have. So for example, red is defined by literal strength, physical strength. They can strength and durability. So they can just withstand they can just withstand stuff. It's like I am bulletproof now. Yeah. I am bulletproof to normal bullets. You cannot harm me. My skin's impenetrable now. Ha 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 ha. And you can do that. You can do that. The Reds can do that. She can do that. She's very tall. Lilith is very... Yeah, and most Reds are like they're kind of tall. She's like 6 I think she's like 6'7". Gosh darn it. She's like over 6 feet something. Yeah. Kidding me. Let's see. She's fully human. She is completely human. Talk about Ronnie later. She is an orange demonborn. And in Orange Demonborn, the reason why she looks like that is because of her powers. Orange Demonborns are born with illusionary powers. So they can just look, they can basically manipulate the area around them to, like, you know, make people see things. And they're free. It gets pretty freaky. Oh, the people who are like orange, whether it's Angelborn, Demonborn, they could do like some crazy stuff and make you see some crazy things. It's great. I don't know what this calls. It's like a 1930s rubber hose style. She's basically looking like, and she's like colored like 1930s like rubber hose style animation is what I was going for with this character. She's evil. This character's evil. She doesn't look like it, but she's evil. She's so evil. I love her. She's very evil. Ah, Casey. Casey, my girl. She's yellow. Yellow is speed. 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 They go zoom. This is just a guy. He's this guy. He's a guy. He is a guy. He's just a guy. How evil for Tina? I don't know. Very. 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 I don't know what comparison to make. It's like, she's very evil. Very. Evil! Slave! Mermaid man. Evil! Evil! You know, things like that evil. Bill. See. Okay, let's see here. Let's see the whole thing.
You can be a lover or a fighter, whatever you desire. Life is like a runway and you're the designer. Wings of a butterfly, eyes of a tiger. Whatever you want, baby, choose.
Hopefully that wasn't too loud. Damn, what is... It's so angry. Put this there. I'm gonna drag this character down a bit. And it's still quite loud? Alright. Let me just like just that down then. No! I was working on this, and I was also working on this. My element, the thing I'm actually good at, making comics. I was rendering this out. This is like kind of a mini comic. It's a dark. It's dark. I love rendering. I love experimenting with renders. It's great. I like it a lot. I'm trying to refine this specific style that I was aiming for, which is like it's a black shading with a black shading with cell shading included into it, and so just combining the two with like some amounts of gradient to it is what I'm trying to aim for, because it's really pretty. This is really pretty. I like it. I just need to find a way to streamline it, though, because it did take me quite a bit of time to actually make this one rendering. And comics, unfortunately, you need hundreds of renderings in order for people to read your shit. And I don't got all that time. Evil. Men are evil. They're doing evil things. Evil. Just color picking the colors, cause I'm very lazy. Oh, there you go. Gosh darn layers. He's peeking. He's peeking out, wondering what's going on. Doing the evil things. Doing the dark evil stuff. Lights. Okay, I know. It looks like I'm avoiding to draw this area because it kind of because like okay. So when drawing a comic, I like to I just like to skip around in comics because even though yes, I did draw this scene, there are just some scenes that I just don't want to draw sometimes, if that makes sense. It's like this is a top-down view of like the people doing the bad things. They're gonna do the bad things. And like I avoid drawing it until like I have to in that page, if that makes sense. I don't know if anybody else does that, but I do. Not. Evil, evil bad mans are doing evil, evil bad things. That looks terrible, and I will fix that later. Okay, let's see. How did I shade this again? Alright. Blue dabble dee dabble die, da dabble dee dabble die, blubble dee dabble die. Yeah, when you're doing comics, you eventually learn how to just streamline most of this stuff as quickly as possible. Cause like, let's see, yeah, that looks good. Whether or not I actually had the extra shading does help, but it does actually look good if I didn't have the extra shading there. But I did it because it just pops out more. Let's see, and then you got then the gradient and the this is the thing that really makes the artwork pop. Hard light, I really like hard light as a setting for like just doing the general highlights. And then overlay is like the best way I can describe it is I use overlay for ambient lighting. Just put down a quick gradient, and it's like it's super subtle, but it really does make the artwork pop out a bit more. Like you can like see like an obvious clear difference if I turn it off. Like this one specifically. If I turn it off, it's way too dark, but then it's just like you have a slight bit of just that ambient light, and it really just makes the colors pop out. Subtly, very subtly. It's great for, like, subtle lighting in, like, the environment, which is something that I really want to talk about. In art class, they really they tell you about, like, direction, like, very hard directional lighting, like, the sunlight, the sun beaming down, like, beaming down on you and stuff like that. And it's like there's a very clear direction of light. They don't ever teach you about what exactly happens if it's a cloudy day and there is no obvious light source. Like, how do you color a character then if there's no obvious light source? And I really wish that art classes did tackle that more, because I took art classes in college. They didn't teach me any of that stuff of, like, what it would look like on a subtle cloudy day or anything like that. What it would look like. I could do it now. I can actually show how to do that one day. Like, I've done so many light studies that I've also kind of just thrown away as well. Man, I don't keep my artwork for too long, which is really gotta start doing that. Gotta keep my work somewhere. Okay, so let's just give a little bit more lighting here. Let's see. There is a rule in, let's see, when it comes to, like, lighting, generally don't have too, like, in panel to, let's see, just do that for a little bit. Then come in here. I like to shade with purple at the nighttime because because there's already a lot of blue, so I just like using purple for shading. It really depends on lighting and stuff. Blocking in the shadows. Blocking in the hard shadows. Hands are complicated. Okay, hands. Okay, where's the light coming from? Technical light's coming from down there, so let's just... I'm starting to understand my art teachers when it says it's really hard to explain how to shade the face. The face has, like, so many hard and soft edges that, like, it's hard to explain. But once you start to understand it intuitively, then it just becomes really, I guess, kind of second-hand nature, easier? Not sure. Don't know how to describe it. I am not a good teacher. But the one thing I do know is that when you look at when it's a face, when you look at your face, whether it's, like, just a realistic face or an anime face or anything like that, I like to put, there's, like, so many gradients on the face that, like, how do I describe it? I should grab it. On the face, especially around the cheekbones. Like, there is, like, an obvious, there's a bone right there on your cheek. That's pretty obvious. But then once you start to slope, that is where the point of the light is actually going to be the most exposed to the light, because that's basically almost a hard edge right there. And then that's when the light starts to subtly drop off. But because there's, like, a hard bone where, like, your soft, squishy flesh is, So you can almost think of it as like a cliff side. You can almost think of it almost like a cliff slide. You got the top of the cliff side. It gets the most light, and then the other side is like almost shadowed in a sense, and then the shadow drops off into like into the light. That's where the ambient. That's ambient occlusion, where like the light is like a side right here. And it's like the same thing all over the face. There's like no wonder why it just takes an entire class session to explain it, because like that's everywhere on the face. This is correct. When I shade the face, the thing that I keep in mind is if there is a bone right there, most likely that's where the light's gonna be. Where the chin is, that's where the most light's probably gonna be. Cheekbones, that's probably where the most light's gonna be. Nose, probably most likely where the most light's gonna be. Forehead, forehead. How do I explain this? The forehead it's curved until it reaches a certain point where it's like an edge right there, because there's like an edge right here, and then it concaves a little bit. It concaves a little bit on the side. The side. So if you just feel your face from the middle of the forehead and you just start going all the way to the side, you'll feel that edge. That is also where the most light's gonna hit too. I wonder if I'm making any sense. Not sure. I just started talking. Probably not. Light source is gonna be right there. Where is my pee? Neat. Yay. Honestly, just drawing it more and more, it makes more sense once you draw it more and more, because I've learned that every single person just has like a different way of how they approach the face and the human art in general. So you do whatever works. You do whatever works. Yeah. Let's see here. Most let's see, I guess I'll just like yap about comics for a bit. Most comics typically have a script. When it comes to their comics, and there's a lot of advantages of using a script, obviously, because, that's how you have a coherent story and such, and that you can actually go back to and have dialogue. I don't normally have a script. I usually like to just straightforward it, which is just me. That's just kind of what I do. I just like gung ho it. I do not thumbnail my this is the most unintuitive way to make a comic. Do not make a comic like I do. Okay? I do not thumbnail things. I don't write a script. I just sketch out one thing, render it all out, and then I get this. Don't do that. If you don't know how to draw comics well, because you won't make a lot of mistakes. Yeah, because like the point of comics is that you have a limited amount of panels in order to tell the story within a page. Is how I approach comics. Okay, you need. It's like a typical comic book has about, like, let's just pull out an American comic book, for example, format. And you know, going from left to right. You typically have 25 pages within a comic book. And yeah, well, it just works. I mean, especially for smaller comics like this one, it especially works. But back to lyrics. But yeah, where was I going with this? Yeah, you only have you only have certain amount of panels in order to tell the story within each page. Even if you have 25, even if you have 8, 10, 12, 25 pages. Each individual page tells the sequence of the story you're trying to tell. And the sequence matters the most within that story. And your artwork is the flow in which your artwork is presented is arguably, in my opinion, the most important thing in the comic. If you can tell your story, if you can somewhat accurately tell your story without needing any dialogue, then you've done a pretty damn good job of making a comic. So, for example, what I'm drawing right here, there is no dialogue happening there's no dialogue or even sound effects, but you can tell that from the facial expressions of this character that he's looking to the left. And then he looks outside the window. What does he see outside the window? He sees these two guys doing some rather explicit things. What does this panel tell you? It tells you that he is listening into what they are trying to say. What are they doing? Obviously, they're taking this woman to do some really not great things, if this panel and her expression is anything to indicate by. And what does this sequence tell? And this sequence also does a secondary thing, which is what is going to happen, because there's clearly this guy is going to do something to this woman, which entices you to go to the next page. And that's one of the key things that in comics that you need to do. Every page needs to somewhat entice you to turn the page, whether it's something that's going to happen that's been set up in the page that you're currently reading, or later on. That's why every comic I've ever read has always had some kind of cliffhanger or something like that, by not just the end of the comic book, but just by almost every page in general, whether it's something big's going to happen, or whether it's someone answering a dialogue exchange, or maybe waiting for the reaction of one character of a character, for example. Anything that to somewhat entice the readers to just turn to the next page. If you can do that, if you can master that, really helpful. It's just it leaves you wanting more. Yeah. It's great. I am not a master comic book artist, but I am just stuff I learned just watching the masters do their work, I guess. Mike Mignola. I really hope I'm saying his name right. Probably not. Was one of my favorite comic book artists of all time, in terms of storytelling and just art in general. I don't know if the influence is shining through here, but his usage of black shading and color and gradients in color. There is gradients in his color. I will say that. I don't know why no one says there isn't. There is, and I love it. And I'm trying to implement that into my comic because it's very the composition wise, it's great. It's great. It just goes into like the next page. Next page. Let's see. There we go. There's some bad fish. Get some sound effects in here. Whoops. Alright, where's my material? There it is. I'm gonna be completely honest, I'm kind of lazy when it comes to the sound effects, so I have just an entire, this is from, Clip Studios Paints Assets store. I just got sound effects from there, because I got lazy trying to just draw the sound effects. They work. They work. I like them. Where the heck did they go? Darn. Really gotta wait. There it is. There they are. All the sound effects I grabbed from the store. I should probably start making my own, just so that it actually has like my own unique flair to it, because making sound effects is also an art form in of itself and can really add to the story if you can really do it well. But I'm lazy. Rattle 'em boys. Ha 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 ha. Where is it? Huh. I know it's here. Where the heck did it go? I'll just take this one. He's so big. Laziness too. Yeah. I lazy. I'm very lazy. Where's the transfer tool? Where is the Gestalten card? Okay, where is it? Where's the cartoon? Let's see, there it is. Okay, scale. Just gonna shrink this down. Then we're going to put the layer right there. Oops, a daisy. There we go. Whoops. There we go. Do a little bit of adjusting for clarity's sake. I just could have just made this completely white. I don't know why I did it like this. Oh well. Let's see. Merge with layer below. That pretty much just rasterizes it. Laziness is it really depends on what you mean by laziness, because like there's laziness, and then there's just using shortcuts in order to make the process, in order to make to hasten the process, because you only have so many hours of the day, and if there's a way to cut corners without affecting the quality, why not? It really just comes down to what exactly are your priorities when it comes to, your artwork. Because like comics, for example, there's like a lot of things that goes into a comic. There's sound effects, there's dialogue, there's speech bubbles, which you can like do a whole bunch of things with speech bubbles. There's direction of the story, and then there's like the amount of time in which you want to render out each sequence of the comic while still being cohesive. Whoop. Yeah, that's essentially what I do. It's just like whatever gets the job done. Love rendering hair. Love rendering hair. Kinda. I don't. Ring of light go. You ever just like seeing like certain artworks in anime where it's just like a ring of light right here? That's what I'm trying to do. It's like ring of light go. Do your thing. Okay, here's a really, let's see, yeah, here there's like a really lazy way of what I mean. It's just like you have the main source of the light's coming down here, and then the hair is obviously going to cover the light source in a certain way, so that's why you just gotta do this. It's very lazy. So lazy. Do that, and then there's just like a hot, it's like a drop off right here where it's like dark light, and then more light comes back because you gotta take into account the bounce light, so that's why there's like light down here. You don't want to do too much, you just want to be like somewhat subtle about it, and if you can do that, it really brings out the face more. It really feels like the face is there. Just gonna put more light. It's face is a gradient. Your face is a gradient. Yeah. Then you got like lips right here. Lips are round, so it's like you got right here. Here. Then if you really want to be fancy about it, it's just like there's like maybe somewhat lights right here. Same thing with the thumb. Just block out the light source. There. Let's see, okay. This is just the main light source, and then the highlights is just completely different later on. This guy has such a gaunt, like a gaunt skin color, and like the shading just makes him look like he's completely pale. Which I guess makes sense. That's kind of like the vibe I'm going for. This is like a basically despicable character trying to take advantage of about to do some horrendous stuff. So unintentional, but it works out. Hello. Okay. Highlights. Add in the highlights. I love adding highlights. This is when, like, real life comes into the character, in a sense. Everyone I've kind of talked to just likes the highlight stage because this is where it makes the colors really pop out and stuff. Everybody likes doing the highlights. Pancakes. Okay, I'm probably gonna end the stream right here. I promised myself that I would only do like 2 hours of these, because, like, still trying to get used to streaming and stuff. So, next time, I'll actually have music. Hopefully I can get the music stuff to work. Hopefully this was, entertaining somewhat. Hope you enjoy my yaps, my yapping. I'm changing the layout because this is the old layout that I had when I used to stream before, when I had that pancake. The little pancake person. I'm trying to go for something for basically matching my new persona. Hopefully this persona actually sticks around and I don't just change it again. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Aw. Yay! Subscribe. Yeah, bye-bye.